As I recall my childhood Christmas memories, one particular year stands out vividly. At the age of 6, I treasured the warmth of our family trio, my mom, dad, and myself. My dad, who was a soldier, had been gone for over 6 months. He had promised a surprise visit, only telling my mom so the surprise would be for me. But they didn't know that I had heard them talking on the phone about everything and knew about his coming. But unfortunately, fate had other plans. It was getting later and later, and I noticed Mom getting tense as the night crept on. So it was a moment of excitement when someone knocked on the door that Christmas Eve. However, destiny had something cruel in store for us. The knock quickly turned into heart-wrenching news and horrified cries when we learned that Dad had passed away in a car accident. He was on his way home to us from the airport when a semi-truck had run him off of the road. Our hero was gone. This incident left a gaping void in our lives, and the festive season was now painted in somber hues of loss and longing. Amidst the shadows of grief, a series of extraordinary occurrences began. I experienced vivid and haunting dreams in which my dad's voice echoed with promises of a missed, special gift and the poignant assurance, "I'll be home for Christmas." I shared this with my mom. However, my mother, burdened with her sorrow, quickly dismissed these ethereal encounters. Then came Christmas morning, which was a blend of reality and surrealism. I found a pristine gift that wasn't there the night before. It had a small, weathered tag on it that read, "From Dad," lightly nestled beneath the tree alongside Dad's worn boots. My mom and I exchanged shocked glances, yet there was no Dad in sight. Christmas Day went on, and when it was time for dinner that evening, we came down the stairs to the smell of my father's famous holiday potatoes. It was then that we had an otherworldly reunion. As a battered, yet unmistakably real, Dad stood in the kitchen over the stove. He turned to us, flashing his bright smile that I had missed so much over the last year. My father, as flesh as ever, was there to join us for the remainder of our Christmas festivities. My parents hugged and kissed. My dad picked me up and swung me around in joy. Amidst both laughter and tears, a fleeting but palpable sense of wholeness graced our hearts. We spent a beautiful Christmas together. It was undoubtedly the best one of my life. At the end of the night, my dad made a promise to remain in my dreams, leaving me with the gift. A cherished toy soldier, an emblem of our inexplicable and transcendental reunion. The next morning I awoke extra early to go see if my father was with my mom in my parents' room. I was saddened to find only Mom there, still asleep. When my mom awoke, I recounted Christmas night, but she told me that it must have been a dream. I then took her to my room to show her my new toy soldier and Dad's boot prints by the front door. My mom gasped and then slightly stumbled, the wall her support. We hugged for a long time after that, knowing that we had been gifted the most priceless present that we'd ever received. Decades have come and gone, yet my father remains a spectral presence in my dreams, guiding me through the labyrinth of life. The toy soldier, a relic of our extraordinary Christmas, has now become a bridge that spans generations, whispering tales of love, loss, and an unwavering connection that transcends temporal boundaries. I only shared this personal story with my wife because I knew that not everyone would be able to understand the mystical nature of the Christmas miracle we experienced. However, the significance of it will always be a part of me. As I watch my son sleep, I am reminded of the enduring legacy of that miraculous Christmas. The faded colors of the toy soldier, which is now his, still remind me of the unbreakable bonds between father and son, and my own enduring commitment to guide my son from beyond. In the quiet embrace of the toy soldier's worn features, I find comfort knowing that my father, though no longer with us, is ever present in my subconscious. His love and reassurance continue to guide me through every moment. I am never alone. Amidst the winter decorations and gleaming items at a small local shop, I became fixated on a dazzling musical snow globe. I stood mesmerized by the intricate details of the miniature world encapsulated within its crystalline boundaries. I had always been fascinated with snow globes, their intricate details and the serene worlds they encapsulated. I loved them so much that in the past 5 years, I was already the collector of hundreds at just 23 years old. My older brother Eric would often lightly tease me for what he called my nerdy 5-year collection. Eric was only about a year older than me and we were very close, best friends really. so we poked fun at each other quite a bit about many things. My snow globe obsession definitely received the largest amount of chiding. But I had told him that this particular snow globe, however, had an allure that was almost hypnotic. Unfortunately, it was a display item and not on sale despite my frequent pleas to the store owner. So I would visit the store day after day just to stare into it, ensnared by its beautiful grace. It encased a lovely, blissful-looking village inside that seemed to go on for miles. I would lightly shake the globe, watching the snow perfectly cascading down, and wind the music on the bottom to a haunting yet melodic tune that waltzed through my mind. I would marvel at the fantasy of a full and joyful life that was held inside those glass walls. One night as I held it in my hands, gazing at the miniature village within its rounded boundaries, I felt a strong desire to step into that idyllic realm. It was a fervent wish that, to my surprise, came true. In an inexplicable surge of energy, I vanished, whisked away into the beguiling confines of the snow globe. At first, it felt like a dream, like a surreal stroll through a picture-perfect village, where laughter echoed in the frost-laden air and happiness seemed boundless. But the illusion suddenly shattered, like fragile glass, uncovering a disturbing face. I soon found that every inhabitant bore a wind-up tuner, freezing them in eerie stillness until rewound. As I watched them, a sense of dread crept over me. Their outward appearance of happiness was nothing more than a thin veil covering a much darker truth. In terror, I ran into nowhere, looking for a way out. As the truth was revealed, the veil had been lifted, uncovered for all to see. An icy shroud of despair slowly descended over the inhabitants, suffocating them with hopelessness and fear. A quiet camaraderie formed among those trapped within the snow globe's deceptive tranquility. There was a dark underground existence living underneath the snow globe's beautiful, picturesque one. Down there were monsters and demons that the living world had never seen. We had to fight daily to keep those horrific beasts contained to preserve our lives above. We shared a collective sorrow, bound by the haunting consequences of our fervent wishes. The snow globe was cursed. It had lured us in through our weaknesses. Everyone there had once been captivated by its beauty so much that they wished themselves here, not knowing that they'd leave their earthly lives behind in the transition. Days melted into nights within the claustrophobic village, each moment etching deeper creases of despair on our faces. The wind-up tuners on our backs, a macabre reminder of our frozen existence, demanded ceaseless rewinding to sustain the facade of motion. Desperation consumed us as we searched for a chink in the glass prison that held us captive. No out was found. As I gazed out of the snow globe, I felt my unease rapidly mounting. What was once a mesmerizing object that captivated my attention was now a haunting prison of which I couldn't escape. We became an eerie tableau frozen in time, yearning for liberation. Hope flickered briefly with the arrival of my frantic brother at the store one day, his inquiries a sign of concern. I had been missing for days, and he was asking about my whereabouts, knowing that I frequented the store because of the globe. Yet the store owner remained oblivious to our entrapment. My screams echoed within the globe, unheard by those beyond its spectral confines. My heart pounded with anticipation as my brother made his way to the globe and held it in his shaking hands, scrutinizing it slowly with furrowed brows and seeming to sense something amiss. But his efforts were futile. He left the store sadly with his head down. His departure left me stranded amidst the chilling stillness of the snow globe's mysterious domain. Deep inside, I knew I'd never see him again. Time became a merciless jailer as the Christmas season ended. The shop, which had been struggling financially over the last 2 years, faced imminent closure. The owner and his wife, who were older, made the decision to close shop to avoid further losses. The last glimmer of hope dimmed, leaving behind a desolate void within the snow globe's ghostly world. Dreams of reuniting with my brother faded into the frost-laden air as the glass prison remained unyielding. And thus, the final moments approached, the shop's doors sealing the fate of those ensnared within the snow globe. With an eerie resignation, we became the silent keepers of the snow globe's secret, forever bound within its stark borders. In the cozy realm of the North Pole, Mr. and Mrs. Claus existed in a perpetually strained relationship. They argued bitterly every day. The jolly facade of their Yuletide bliss masked the underlying turmoil in their marriage, leaving both discontented. Santa, driven by an uncharacteristic impulse, decided to bend the rules of Christmas magic. He sought a youthful transformation, longing to rejuvenate his appearance and be young again. Santa, looking youthful and extremely handsome, in a twist unforeseen, crossed paths with a young woman with whom he had an unexpected brief romantic affair, leading to the arrival of a baby. Haunted by remorse, Santa knew he had overstepped, breaking the sanctity of his marriage. Overwhelmed by guilt, he parted ways with the young woman, determined to mend his 200-year union with Mrs. Claus. The breakup was a little rocky, but he knew he had to get his life back in order. His confession only brought distress to his wife, shattering the fragile remnants left of their bond. Unbeknownst to Santa, Mrs. Claus, harboring her own discontent, embarked on a similar journey. She decided to get even, so she also used Christmas magic to attain youth and beauty, embracing a newfound freedom. Secretly, she delved into the world of dating, encountering a man with whom she would also bear a child. As her pregnancy advanced, Mrs. Claus, devoid of remorse, disclosed her venture to Santa. The revelation created a rift between them, a chasm of disappointment and regret. Yet, amidst the chaos, they both chose to prioritize their unexpected offspring, setting aside their fleeting affairs, returning to their original personas. In the present day, they focus on raising their two miraculous babies, a silent testament to their indiscretions. Despite reverting to their elder selves, their home still echoed with the cries of long-standing disputes. Despite their discord, they pledged to rebuild their fractured bond, vowing never to exploit Christmas magic for personal desires again.